All right, class, here we go. We're going to make our sketch 1. Okay, I'm going to just go over the outline of the paper here. This is our isometric grid up here. You can see we have guidelines that are 30 degrees this way, 30 degrees that way, 90 degrees vertical. We're going to put our multi-view drawing. Our multi-view drawing will go as such. Our top view goes in this area, our front view goes in this area, and our right side view is going to go down here. Now, I am, let me get rid of this over here. Okay, so we're going to start drawing the isometric up here. And we need to remember that our front view is this direction, our right side is this direction, and then top would be looking down this way. Okay, so we're going to start out, we're just going to pick a point down over in this area, and I'm going to put it at a place where I can see the vertical, horizontal, and diagonals meeting. Okay, and I'm just going to select a point right there. Okay, now we're going to draw the front side. So I can see here my front side is 1, 2, 3 cubes wide. So I'm going to have to go 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that we did was right there. Okay, right there. Now, you can see that this right here goes up 1 space. So I'm going to go vertical 1 block. Then we have, it's only going 2 blocks now, or 2 spaces. So there's 1 to that point, 2 to that point. Then we're going to look and see how high this goes. And oh boy, we might run into trouble. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see where that takes us. Now it's 1 to here, 2 to here, 3 to there, and 4 to there. Oh, we just barely made it. Okay. Next, we can see on this side it's only going up 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And if you remember from our notes, all lines of width have to be parallel. All lines of height have to be parallel. And then all lines of our depth will have to be parallel. So this is the top of the front view there. Okay, so now we're going to start adding in our depth. So I can see the depth of our object. I can go back here down to this area. The depth of our object is 1, 2, 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. Then it goes vertical again, and it's going vertical 1. Okay. We have this line for our depth again. It needs to be the same as that. Right? You seeing how we're getting there? I see this has to go across. Now this has to be the same depth at this point that it was here. Okay, same depth. So it's going to be, again, 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And then we can go ahead and finish this width out. Then our depth again, up here at this point, it's going to be 3. This will be 3. So let's go to those points. 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3. And then we'll go this way. 1, 2, or that one space. And then we just have to finish off this vertical. Okay. There's the isometric. Remember, this is an ISO, which means it's a 3D sketch. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we're going to start with our multi-view. Okay, and again, multi-view, that's an MV, 2 letters, means it is a 2D drawing. Okay, now, as I said, we use 3 views in this class. We use the top view, the front view, and the right side view. Again, this is the front when we're looking this way. That is front. This is right side. And then when we look down from up above, that is our top view. Okay? So why don't we go ahead, and what I like to do is have us lay out our points for keeping this object kind of centered, so to speak. And I'm going to need to get a pencil for that. So I'll be right back. All right. So because I like to keep our objects spaced out equally, we're going to just, for these things, we're going to go with overall sizes of what this object would have been made from. Okay, so we're going to start out. I'm going to go from the origin, and I'm going to go 1, 2 across diagonally, and I'm just going to put a dot there. Then I'm going to go 2 diagonally this way, 1, 2. And then I'm going to go 2 diagonally this way, 1, 2. Okay, so now what I want to do is we're just going to lightly sketch out the overall size of the view, the shape that this would have come from. So imagine that this was like a block at one point. So I can see our front view. The 2 dimensions we know in our front view is width and height. Okay, so I know it's 3 wide, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4 high. So again, 4 high over here. So we're going to make a rectangle that is 3 wide, and I'm just going to do this lightly. 1, 2, 3 wide, and it has to be 4 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish out that rectangle. Okay, and again, I'm doing this lightly. Then our top view, which is up here, our top view, the two dimensions that our top view shows, you should know this is our width and our depth, how far back it goes from front to back. That's our depth. Well, if our object is 3 wide in the front, it's got to be 3 wide in our top. So lightly again, 1, 2, 3. And then the depth of this object is 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go back 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we'll finish off that, drawing it lightly just so we can barely see it. Okay, and that's the size that that would come from over there. Now, our right side view, again, the height of our object, we get to see height from the right side. If I look at it from this direction, our height is still going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got my dot here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The depth, we can see it's the same as in the top. Depth is the same. So it's going to be 3, 2, 3. We'll finish off that rectangle. Okay. Now we can start getting the actual shape here. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with the front here. Okay, so we're imagining that we're looking straight at this. I can see that the shape is like an L. Okay, it's like an L. So what we're going to do, we're going to see, we notice that we have to go up 1 here on the left. We're up 1, so there's our first line there. We're going across. The width here is 3. We've already established that. Then it's going its full height, which is 4. It's this back, so to speak, to the seat. Let's imagine this is a seat or a chair. The back to the seat is just 1 wide. Then we can take that down. 1, 2, 3. See the 1 high, so we know we gotta go this direction and we gotta go down 3. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then that comes over. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and gently erase this stuff. And that's what our front view looks like. Okay, so now we can go ahead, we can do our top view. Okay, so our top view, when I look down at this from the top, we would see everything. We see this section here and this section down here. Okay, top view, we got this as part of the top and this is part of the top view. Now with a multi-view, we're only seeing the 2 dimensions. Remember, in our top view we're seeing width, okay, width of the object, and we're seeing depth of the object. Now I'm going to go ahead and see right away that here is this seat back. When I look here, it's got to come across, it's got to be in alignment. We talked about that when we did our notes. So I'm going to go ahead. I know that that is something we need. And we definitely will see the perimeter or the outside of this entire object. So I'm going to go ahead and darken those areas. Just like that. Okay, so if we look down at the top, we would see that. Okay, we see the width of our front view width, and the top view width of the seat back are the same. The width of the seat is the same. Okay, and we see that the depth of the object right here, 3. Okay, so again, we're only seeing 2 dimensions in each view. Now we're going to go over and let's do our right side view. Okay, now I know that when I look at this right side, I am seeing this section right there, the seat itself, and I'm also seeing this right here. Okay, so this goes up 1. Notice that we did this up 1, so these lines are going to be having to be in alignment, so I know I have that line. This has to be in alignment, so I have that. This top line has to be aligned with the other one. And then we have the depth of our right side. And there we have the 3 views. Now, just to help reinforce some of the things we have to remember, we have on our front view, we have width. So I'm just going to do this, and I'd like you to do it also. We have width. We also have on our front view, what's the other dimension we have? That's right, you have the height. So we're going to go ahead and make sure I'm going to put this down. This is just to help us reinforce what we see in each view. Okay, 2 dimensions, 2D sketch, 2 dimensions. Let's shift over here to our right side view. The 2 dimensions we see, I know that we see the height. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll put height here. And then the other dimension this way. Okay, again, front to back, that's what we're seeing. So we know that this would have to be our depth. Okay, so across here is our depth. All right, now we have the one last view we got to do. We know we have width in our top view. We learned that in our notes. So again, we have width. And then the other dimension we see from the top is again from the front to the back. When we look down at the top, we see front to back, which front to back is our depth. And that, you just made your first sketch, both with an isometric up here. That's one view, shows all 3 dimensions. We did our multi-view. We have 1, 2, 3 views, multiple views, but we only see 2 dimensions in each view. Okay? What you're going to do now is you're going to take your paper, hold it up in front of your Chromebook, snap a picture of it, and you're going to insert that into the appropriate slide for sketch 1.0. All right, good job.